HamHam128 here, and today I'm showing you a tutorial video on how to draw a typical HamHam. Now, here's the problem I see all over the internet. Most people, they don't really have a set, real design or way of how to draw a HamHam. While there are certain structures and outlines on how to draw them, they're not really good structures that are set to manipulate the HamHam's functions and actions in a way that you can make different things. There's just one position, that's it. No other position. So I'm going to show you a really easy yet better way to draw a HamHam. There's really no real detailed Hamtaro fan art out there. I'm sorry. For those of you who make these fan art, I'm going to put it out there. It's not really that great as it ought to be. I'm sorry, but that's the way I have to put it. If there's any detailed Hamtaro fan art, it would be hentai with yaoi, and Lord knows none of us want to see that unless you're that type. And again, I'm no one to judge anybody. So, what we're going to start out with, a simple circle, as most outlines are. We're going to make this circle big. Like, big enough for you guys to see. If it's not perfect, try to do your best to perfect it as much as possible. I'm kind of screwing this up right now because the light's in the way, but you kind of see the point. It actually looks good from the camera here. So, the next thing you want to do is judge from the middle down here below, and you want to draw a curve. This HamHam I'm drawing right now will be looking this way. So, it's going to be facing the curve is going to be facing that way like an arrow. So, then you want to add a certain curve right there that would look somewhat like a HamHam typical cheek. I am not doing this by the old Hamtaro design where Hamtaro looks fat and all, cause that's a bit, 2001. So we're moving on. And you want to make a similar curve type technique to the other cheek. So now we must go a little bit above this circle outline here. Right now we're just focusing on the head at this point. The body we'll get to soon enough. So right now, you want to go a little bit above this circle outline right here. And you want to go a few steps about right here and put a line here. That will be the nose. And then around this circle outline, it's optional, you don't have to do this. You can put a circle around it. That will be its semi-rosy cheeks that its whiskers stick out of. That's been kind of a new thing that they added to. Well, not a new thing. It's kind of the more modern Hamtaro look. But it's optional. So then now you can actually afford to erase much of the circle. Cause it's gonna do nothing more than get in the way in the end of it. And erase a little bit of that bottom outline. While you're at it, erase a little bit at the top. But you want to keep a little bit of that curve right there. That way you can differentiate between the two eyes that we're gonna put. So let's get this clear. Alright. Now, the eyes, they're just kind of circle-ish, but since it's turned in one direction, we're going to have to put it in an ovalish type position. So, then we can kind of line it up for the next part, that way it doesn't look out of place. Now, on this side, you can actually be a bit more circulating about it instead of ovally. Well, it still looks kind of ovally, but at least you get the point. So now you see it already, you're already starting to see the look a bit. So, if it's looking this way, we're going to draw a circle here. I would say that's a bit big there. You do not want to make that circle too big, just like what I did. It can really screw up your image, and it can leave no space for the other circles you have to put in there. So, alright, that looks good. Then you add the two smaller circles. Sometimes it can be one, it's optional. Well, semi-optional. Sometimes there's certain circumstances where it's not that optional. Then you're gonna wanna add, kinda do a similar thing on the other eye. Again, have to make things line up. Well, yeah, I'm starting to get the hang of it there. Alright. Then you add the two circles, as always. Then you want to add the mouth, which should be easy, because it's more like a a curved W, like as shown. Alright, so now you're starting to see that it actually had the face there, which should be great. So, now you want to add the ears. The ears are just circles that envelop the head, which should be an easy concept, fairly. Alright, now you're starting to see better structure on this particular HamHam. Now, to finish off with the ears, you're gonna have to put two furs sticking out. They can be typically big, small, however you'd like it to be. Then you're gonna add one large hole for your ear. Can't make it too small, can't make it too large. There it is. Voila. Now, I'm just touching this up really quick. You don't have to add that on this side. Based on based on how it's turned, it can be an optional or not, but sorry about that. Dadgummit. Anyhow, it should be typically an option, but now since we're on that ear area at the top of the head, if it's gonna be a bald HamHam without any hair, without any form of a cap, like Cappy or Boss, then you're normally gonna see this on Hamtaro's head. You're gonna wanna have sticks of fur, small sticks of fur, sticking out from his head. This is pretty important, otherwise it'll look a bit undetailed, and it's gonna be horrifying. Trust me, I used to draw horrifying Hamtaro pictures when I was little. It was, I don't even want to say. Okay. So now you see a structure in the HamHam, and we're not gonna really determine which HamHam this is yet, but since we're gonna finalize the head right now, we can erase some of these outlines, and that would be great, really. Mind that little mini circle that you drew there, cause you're gonna semi-need it for the whiskers. Then, at somewhere around the top of that mini circle there, you're gonna add a few whiskers. Can't make it too big or too small. You can just dadgummit. You can just add it there. And the bottom whisker, you can even put it a little bit off the circle. Try to make it as equalized as possible. Then you can do pretty much the same on the other side. Now the bottom whisker here, notice that I put it on the other side where I didn't even put it on the face. I just put it at the edge because it's going to be you can kind of see a rotary type look on the HamHam. Yeah, gummit, I have a lot of editing to do now. So now we can focus on the body. The body is going to be circular-ish. Yeah, that's about sums it up. Then you want to add little mini arms there. Should be equal size, not really too fat or too mini. You don't want it to look deformed. And you can kind of add it on that other side over there. And as well as draw the hands, or the paws, whatever. Alright. If you turn it on either side, it can actually look pretty manipulative. But now we can add we can put a circular pattern here to add the feet. Now the feet, generally they would be like other paws, but you can make them shoes, boots, whatever. I actually tried doing, like on my recent HamHam drawing projects, I tried putting like Converses and stuff, but then again, you can experiment with anything with this kind of method. Then we're just gonna do a typical foot. Add a few lines there. You have a foot. This one you can kind of sharpen up some of the, make it a bit more liney a bit. And there we go. That's the basics of how to draw a typical HamHam. Now, another thing that you might want to consider adding is but your fur patterns. Like, I'm not doing any real HamHam here, but here's an example. You can add fur here like this if you wanted to. Simple enough. And if you're not dadgummit! If you're not being real with your HamHam or anything, you can put random stuff on it after you're done with the basic outline. It's hilarious. I mean, watch. You can even put Harry Potter's scar on there if you wanted to. The hamster who lived. Regardless, it's kind of wacky. I mean, I've done a lot of hairstyles to HamHam before. I'll talk about adding hairstyles in another video. A pretty soon video, in fact. Until then, you can just stay tuned. Then you can add certain accessories. I'm going to add a bow tie here. So that's part 1 of how to draw a typical HamHam. Subscribe for more at HamHam Clubhouse, and you will see more videos about this. And this is HamHam128 signing out.